What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Okay, so this past week, I spent time visiting Cedar Point, Kings Island, and the Columbus Zoo with my dad and his friends in order to get some new credits and just re-enjoy some great parks. In the process, I met a lot of cool people and fans who led me around the parks and shared information with me that I hadn't learned before, and generally speaking, none of these were necessarily video worthy. But as we approached the Bat at Kings Island, a lot of you love that ride, a frequent viewer of mine stopped me to say hi, and we started talking for a few minutes. Knowing I love the bizarre and obscure stuff, he mentioned I do some research into the original Bat prototype and hinted if I dig hard enough, I might find something about some inversions. Yeah, inversions on an aero suspended coaster. How would that even work? So, when we got back to our hotel, I did just that and started a bit of digging, and what I found surprised me. So without further ado, here is a quick summary of what I learned about inversions on suspended roller coasters, because guess what? Apparently, they were real. On April 26, 1981, the original Bat at Kings Island would debut from manufacturer Aerodynamics and operate until 1983. Of course, many of you probably know the story as to why it closed so early, which revolved around problems in the design, but I'm not going to give a history on the Bat's closure, and therefore we'll skip that part. However, what I am here to talk about today is its design before that, when prototypes were being made to test it at Aero's facility. As many of you know from my previous videos, roller coaster manufacturers will build and test a physical, life-size model of their product before selling them on the market, in order to ensure their success and operating capabilities from a functional aspect. This is the same case even today, as seen when I tested the S&S Axis prototype a couple years ago. That said, these prototypes aren't always made available to the public or even enthusiast eye, and some remain rather mysterious. Of these is the one I'm here to talk about today, which featured those inversions as I mentioned earlier. At least according to this article, the Bat was going to have two corkscrews, as you can see in this map of the first layout of the ride, and failed to see them installed after multiple failed test runs. These inversions appeared to be corkscrews which Aero would have been most familiar with at the time, and as you can see here, were tested using singular cars. So why didn't it work? Long story short, and credit to some of the comments left on a thread for this one, Aero couldn't come up with a way to stabilize the trains through the inversions. The cars would topple over when they went upside down due to the suspension that helped it swing through the turns. Though the suspension could handle the minimal banking and turning, it was not meant to handle an inversion. Models made to showcase the idea likewise proved it to be difficult, and support would have been needed from both the top and the bottom of the cars. Regardless, as we know, the model did come to fruition and saw moderate success with many still in operation today. I just found it interesting that the idea of inversions on aero suspended coasters was entertained, and it was cool to see that they even tried it in a prototyping phase. Whether plans to include two corkscrews were ever truly in designs for the Bat, I don't know, but at least it was considered, and we have physical proof based on these photos. As always though, that's just been another short video overlaying the Bat and potential inversions on it, and it's been a major pleasure creating new content for all of you. If you did find the video informative or entertaining, please feel free to go ahead and like and subscribe. It takes a lot of work, but I'm glad to be back researching and talking about the weird stuff people like. If you have any suggestions, of course feel free to leave those down below as well. But other than that, I appreciate you all being here, and I'll talk to you all in the next video. See ya!